So here's the thing. I know that this video is kind of on the cusp of an early thought, because this movie is coming out in like 4 days. This is almost ridiculous, but that doesn't matter, because I only have a couple of things to say about this. First of all, the person who they chose to play Bilbo, the younger Bilbo, I don't know the actor's name, but I know him mostly from The Office, and so it's going to be really, really interesting to see how he translates as Bilbo, considering I know him from a mostly comedic role. That's one thing off the top of my head that I've been wanting to say for a while. The second thing is this, and this is probably the most important, because I'm sure the movie's going to be good, it's probably going to be fine, it's probably going to be very well made. I have read The Lord of the Rings 100,000 billion times. I've read The Hobbit twice. And the reason I've only read it twice is it's a good book. I'm not saying it's not a good book, but it's just lesser than The Lord of the Rings, and it's less deep. And I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, the books especially, but the movies too. The movies were really excellent. When I first heard that they were doing a Hobbit movie, this was like when they were having problems with Peter Jackson, and then they thought maybe Guillermo del Toro was going to do it, and then Peter Jackson came back in. This whole time, I've been thinking, how are they going to make this into a feature film? And then I heard they were making 3. How are they going to do this? I don't get it. I didn't know how they were going to have enough material from that book to make 1 movie. And is it just that they think that this has to be a trilogy because The Lord of the Rings was a trilogy? I understand that they want to get as much of a payoff as they can with this, and if I was a studio, I would much rather have the returns from 3 big films than 1. I just don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, The Lord of the Rings, that makes sense why that needed to be 3 movies. They had to cut shit out. There's not much to The Hobbit, and once again, it's a good book. I'm not saying it's not a good book, but there's just not that much to it. I don't know how this is going to sustain 3 films. So my only real early thought is that, like I said, I'm sure it's going to be good. I'm sure they're going to be quality films, but I don't know how they're going to pull this one out. I have no idea. Are they going to make up their own shit? Because that'll piss me off. If they make up their own shit just to fill 3 feature films, it's going to piss me off. But I don't know. Maybe they will find some way to extend it to 3 full-length feature films. I have no idea. That's all I wanted to say. That's my only thought. That is my only early thought. How?